welcome to this edition of What Matters. And I am here with my regular guest, Crystal Mark. She joins me once again and always on a mission, always behind a cause. And I gotta edify this woman a bit. Crystal, this is her third time on the show. The first time she came and she spoke about her long job title, which she will tell you, that she created herself, DIY jobs in the 2000s, right? You find a need and you fill it, and that's what this century has been about. The next time Crystal came on, she is the founder of Malton Moms, and she came to talk about community building and actually putting elements into place to make a community, because houses all close together do not a community make, right? And today she is here speaking about a topic that, even though I am not involved as yet, is near and dear to my heart. I think is so important, so tremendous, and that is adoption. But specifically, the adoption of Black children and the adoption by Black families.
Correct.
So welcome again, Crystal.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
joining us.
Thank
you
you.
for joining us.
Thank you. Yes, adoption is near and dear to my heart. I have 4 bio children, as I call them. I hope that catches on. Credit me if you hear about it. I have 4 bio children, and my husband and I, the dear Kevin Mark, he is the opposite of what I am. I'm loud, he's quiet. But we got together and decided that we wanted to foster. We have a lot of love in our home. We have 20 years of marriage this June. And yay! And we wanted to provide support to our Black community, as we have been doing, but in a different way. And when I came to do my work as you know, as an equity consultant and anti-racist advocate, I was working for a short time in the child welfare system, and it's not the easiest system to work in. But as a person of color, you begin to see the ways in which the impacts of colonialism, of ideas of middle class family values have impacted both the Black and Indigenous communities in Ontario and in Canada for many years. You know, we all know that there are, you know, stereotypes that they have out there about, you know, don't call the CAS because they're going to take your kids. You know, those fears were founded at one point on, you know, degrees and grains of truth.
On reality.
Yes, and you know, what I feel in my heart very strongly is that we as a Black community, our village, if we can, we need to be that auntie, kin, kith, whomever we can be, to try to help in that system. In my home, I have very little space, but I decided that I was going to go and engage, and my partner was on board. And we said we're going to try and see if we can provide some intermittent foster care. And along the way, I met some really amazing people. So I'm creating an event that brought these people together. And I saw a radical visionary movie that spoke to the challenges and complexity that Black families have when they enter into the system, not from the other side where, you know, their children are being taken away from, but those of us who I call go back for our kinfolk, who go in to try to say, we're going to provide that.
I love that. So I have two things I want to say. First, because I got to make sure that I read this many times during this, because I need you guys to be there. So this is about, and Selena will bring it up on screen as I read it in front of me. He even has your eyes. So on June 20th of this year, in Hamilton, we're going to be having this is going to be a panel. You have the play, the movie, you have a workshop as well. And so Who is invited to attend? Everyone, service providers, caseworkers, counselors, community members, and parents. We're going to be having a light lunch. We're going to have Adopt for Life, Heidi Payne and Alice O'Drain, that's right.
Correct.
Equity consultant, Crystal Mark. Writer and adoptive mom, Tanya True Daly, founder of Black Adopted Mom Squad. So now I have to go find them because I think that's amazing.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll connect you. It's called the BAM Squad.
The BAM
sure.
Squad. I like it. And marketing publisher and adopted mom, my friend Chantal Amsterdam.
That's right,
and
Chantal.
her three wonderful boys who, is also helping me going through what I'm going through right now.
Absolutely.
She's been part of the village. And that was the other thing that I wanted to address is something that you said about our village.
Correct.
And I think that a thought that occurred to me a few months ago as we talk about all these different issues is I think one of the reasons that the Black community suffers disproportionately is because we've moved away from what is truly our ways.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And in adopting a very North American way of living, this thing where you don't know your neighbor and people are so individualized.
Nuclear.
That is not the way that we have traditionally. So even if you're talking about directly from Africa, the stop through the Caribbean, the culture that was developed there, and being here, we do not thrive under these isolated conditions.
That's right.
It's always been that community raising the children. And, remember being younger and listening to my mom speak about life in the Caribbean and other adults speak about life in the Caribbean. And I live down the street with Auntie so-and-so. And at first I was so confused. I'm like, what do you mean your mom lived down the street with some of your brothers and sisters and you live down the street with your aunt? And then you find out Auntie ain't blood auntie.
No.
Auntie's the friend from church.
Auntie is what we call kith or kin. Kith is family, friend, and kin is our kinfolk, our family. So it's very important that kin and kith, and the word kith, people know kinfolk, right? People say skinfolk, kinfolk. They know that part, but sometimes your kith, the family that you make in life, your neighbor, that lady that you've known all your life, you grew up with her kids, you grew up with, her son, those people are your kith. And so let's just say, God forbid, something happens, a breakdown in the home, mommy needs support. Maybe grandma lives abroad, but auntie is down the street, and auntie is not birth. Auntie is kith. So we explore in social service, they explore a number of options of how to connect families first. The idea in the collective imagination of society is that, CAS pulls your children, you never see them again, and they go off to some family. That's not exactly true. And I just want to make that really clear because there are circumstances where people do get their children pulled from them. I'm not going to lie about that, and nor am I going to sugarcoat it. But because of where we've come through and because of, pioneers, Black people who've worked in the system, other people, allies, people who have said enough is enough. Our indigenous friends with saying through the end of the 60s scoop and saying through Truth and Reconciliation, we're not having this anymore.
Yes.
And you're going to return our children to us. It is those movements that have created the idea of, okay, so children come into care, let's plan around, do they have anyone? Do they have anyone? Let's do family finding.
Right.
Okay? And then if we don't have anyone, then we'll place them into foster care. But our ultimate goal is to A, return them to their family, or B, if that's not possible, find them a home with permanency. There is not permanency, for example, or there is not cultural what is the word? Excuse me, sorry. There is not cultural support for a Black child living in an all-white home in an all-white neighborhood. That's not a permanency plan.
Right.
So the next step is to find parents who are from the Black community. And I do want to speak to you about my coined phrase, ABCD equity and ABCD families, because I want to explain the depth and the breadth of the diaspora. Because as you said, it's African, A, African American, or B, Black, C, Canadian, C, Caribbean, D, the diaspora. We live all over the world.
Absolutely.
I don't have to tell you that. That there are people of us who were here before slavery.
We were talking about that before the
right,
show.
The Moors, right? We know that we are not homogenous as a group. We are multi-layered and multifaceted.
Absolutely.
But yet we all face one thing in common, and that is systemic racism, anti-Black racism, and what we're trying to do as adoptive parents or people who are interested in fostering is going back and trying to help our kinfolk. We only have one life to live, and we serve a greater good, the Creator. And so what are we doing with this life?
Absolutely. And how do we help? And when we come back from this break, something else I want to bring up is, you said it, kinfolk and skinfolk. And the thing is that anybody who knows a lot about the Caribbean has met the Chinese Jamaican, has met the white Bayesian, or but what holds us more in common and what keeps us closer together is culture. So when you share the same culture with someone, it's very different than sharing the same skin color with them.
Well,
right?
and that's true too. But what is important for the Black child who's in the foster care system is that they grow up in a home where they see themselves.
Absolutely.
And they learn their ways, right? To borrow from an indigenous, we teach our ways, right? And some of our ways actually are very similar to indigenous people. The problem is with this country and the world itself, they have not taken the time to recognize the ways in which our marginalization, our Holocaust, our history is similar. And that time is coming.
Oh, absolutely.
And we are making it happen.
100%. We've got to go to break before Selena starts waving at us. This is what Crystal and I do. We have a really good time. And we forget time.
Stop.
We can't stop. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to go over the ABCD of your equity. And also, too, we're going to talk. I want to know a bit about the difference between fostering and adopting.
Absolutely.
And then also, I want to know, can single parents do it? Do you
Yes,
have to be
they
like
can.
a cookie cutter family?
Yes,
we'll
they
be right
can.
back after this break.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back to this edition of What Matters, and I'm here today with equity advocate and many other things, Crystal Mark.
Writer.
And today, writer, many things, and I think you're going to be seeing more from her shortly, but we'll talk about that after we're here brainstorming in between the break.
Cooking
I got it cooking.
in the kitchen.
Because you know what, Crystal and I, we have joined forces.
We vibe 100.
100. I met the woman, and it's like you're my newest bestest friend.
BFF.
Exactly. And it's because of Crystal's passion, how much she cares, how much she wants to change, and she motivates me. You light me on fire like a match. And
can I just say
want
about
to
confirmation?
follow behind
That's
you.
the third time someone said that to me.
Really?
In
okay,
as
so
many days.
can you light the flame and let's go? Let's go. So you're going to be seeing stuff from Crystal and I because there's just too much to do.
Yes.
For our community in so many areas, and we're very similar in that we have 101 interests, so we're gonna focus that and get, no, it's not. It's not a bad thing at all. So today we're here and we're talking about adoption. Adoption and Black families, specifically Canadian Black families. We are here in Toronto, but this would apply across the board.
Yes.
So let's start off with the ABCD of equity.
Okay.
What does that mean?
So I coined this phrase. Now, other people have used similar phrases, but my event, the hashtag is ABCDEQUITY. So ABCD equity. A, like I said, stands for African or African American. B stands for Black. C stands for Caribbean or Canadian. and D is for the diaspora. So that's all of us. That's wherever we come. Disbursement, diaspora, it refers to disbursement. So it's us leaving the continent of Africa and all the many places. That includes Europe. That includes everywhere in the world. You're not going to go anywhere in this world and not find someone who's Black. I read a story the other day about a Black man who went all the way to the Antarctic, right? And set up his family life there. Like, we are everywhere. And that's, our people have been the cradle of society.
And let me just interject, and something that you got to look into, you have to research. Yes. Again, we didn't all leave Africa at that transatlantic slave point. There was a lot of travel that happened before that.
Absolutely.
And happily, and things were established before that. So there are...
take a trip to Mexico. Look at the Mayans.
Look at the Mayans. Look at the statues. You'll see it.
We have a very limited view in I would say North America.
100%.
That's highly influenced by the United States as well. And I think that even our North American lifestyle encourages us to think of us as the epicenter of the world, and everything else is other.
It is it is a very North American way of thinking. You watch the news. 4 people died in Ohio. That's like an 8-minute segment. And in India, 100,000 people died in a landslide. And on they go. So we have this idea that we are just far more important than everyone else. And everything is set up like it is set up here.
Absolutely. And the whole world works completely different from region to region.
Exactly.
And the one thing we need as a culture, and that's across the board, because for me, equity is about empathy as well. It's about understanding people's perspective and then doing what's right so that I can walk the talk of what I say I'm doing, right? I cannot support you in your struggle if I look down on you. I have to understand your pain, not be sorry for you. So thank you. But I digress to say that with ABCD equity, I really want African Black families, African Caribbean Canadian Black families to have a voice at the table and discuss the ways in which they have found adopting or fostering challenging. Okay. And I have stories for days, but some are confidential, some are not. So I only share what I have permission to share. And so I've gathered some amazing women. I've joined Adopt for Life Ontario. It's a great organization, and I'm part of the Black and African Canadian family and children collective part of the organization. So they're sponsoring our event, as well as Illuminescence, which is a magazine, a festival. They also run an amazing Heritage House in Sierra Leone, and they're supporting the event. Malton Moms, who I co-founded and I started with, and then I have a practice called Equity Praxis International, where I do counseling, consulting, and it's my umbrella for so many of these pieces of my work. If you slide over the flyer, I'll tell you a little bit about it. So we're going to have there's this beautiful movie that you all need to see. It is on Netflix streaming now. It is called He Even Has Your Eyes, and it is a lovely story about these 2 beautiful Black French people. It has subtitles, so get ready for those of you who don't like to read while you watch. I love the subtitles though. And He Even Has Your Eyes it flips the script. So normally, it's been historically fine for white people to adopt Black children, and nobody says nothing, and nobody asks about, are they going to have their cultural needs met? In this story, a Black family is gifted with a white baby through the adoption process in France, and they come from the mother comes from a Muslim background, the father is Caribbean, and they live in France. They are business owners. They own the loveliest little flower shop, and yet they have to prove undoubtedly and over beyond measure, they have to prove that they are worthy to provide care for this child in a way that white people simply don't have to do. And so I wanted to screen this film with a large audience of service providers, parents, community members, students who are in the social work field, and many more. Anyone off the street can really sign up for this event. The tag for it is The website is www.abcdequity.eventbrite.com, and it's happening June 20th at the Dr. Perkins Center. And Dr. Perkins was actually a black man from the United States who settled in Canada and became a doctor. And I thought it was a fitting tribute. I also thought it was a fitting tribute to have the event in Hamilton, where I am now living. But Hamilton is also has the highest statistics in Ontario of Indigenous and Black children in care. And I believe we have those for you.
Yeah. So here are some statistics that I found online, and these are from 2014. So they're 5 years old, but they give you a very startling graphic view of what's happening in our care system. So overrepresented Black and Aboriginal children in care. As you can see, so the red represents the percent of children in care whose parents and or ancestors are from this ethnic background. Then the gray shows you the percentage under 18 that are representative of the general population, right? And then how the blue numbers tell you how many more times this group is in care, then how many more times they're overrepresented in care.
Right.
So our First Nations people are 2.5% of the population
of Ontario.
Of Ontario.
23.3%.
Quarter of the people in care are
and any First Nations person, who is living either in our settler cities or in reserve will tell you that they know that their grandmother, their mother, their grandfather, all of these people, they know someone who was in care, either is now or was during the 60s scoop. That is unequivocal. You hit a First Nation person on the street, you meet them up, and I'm sure that's part of their legacy.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's tragic and it's wrong, and we need to correct it. When you add to that, if you could just pull up the statistics again, that the Caribbean and African are separated, but if you, like I said, pull together our kinfolk, you will see that you have less than 5% of the population, but over 11, pushing on to 12% of children who are under 18 represented in care, and that's in 2014. I'm really sorry that I wasn't able to give you 2018, last year's statistics, because they were much higher.
Wow.
And there was an expose done by the Toronto Star about this and what we need to do about it. And so we have an obligation, both in our society, in the children's aid societies, but also in society in general, to either I was going to say something not so good. Either shit or get off the pot, okay? And what I mean is like we need to do something.
Do it.
Right? And not all of us can provide a home, but we can volunteer, we can support, we can raise awareness, we can create an event and let the proceeds of that event go to there.
Absolutely.
We can do that. So for me, using my skill set, I decided, okay, I'm really good at communicating and building community. I said, let me try to find some women and men who care about this issue, and let's bring them together and have this discussion. So we're going to be doing this film screening. There's going to be a workshop with questions, and people are going to learn. We're going to pick apart pieces of the movie. When that person did that, what was really going on? And then we're going to talk about these wonderful women. Heidi Payne is a white woman who's adopted Black children, and she has a Black spouse. Alice O'Drain is also in an interracial relationship. She is living in Ottawa. Heidi is living in London. So these are, broadly showing, our Ontario. Tanya Trudaley is a writer, filmmaker in Toronto, and she is adopting a child, and she had a lot of struggles just working through the system and having people believe that as a single parent she could do that.
Which we're going to talk about after the break.
The Black woman as a single parent, we know the Black woman is scrutinized as it is. A single Black woman and a single Black mother, even more so. And so we did a little bit of advocacy work, and I'm proud to say that True has made her way, and she has so much to bring to the table. And then we have Anointed Mom, who is also an adopted mom, Chantel Amsterdam, and she fought like the Dickens Republicans to ensure that 3 children who were born to the same mother and father who were not able to take care of their children, that she fought hard with her
Warrior
spouse.
business.
Yes, like
Warrior
she went to task.
level business.
Yes, she went to
Yes.
task to prove and demonstrate that she was the best parent for these children, and not all children come to you in a group. Sometimes you foster 1 or 2, and then you find out parent has had another child and they are not capable. And sometimes you gotta work with the system or work and fight in the system.
You
in
almost
order
get
to
that
help.
last child kind of like an unexpected pregnancy, except you weren't pregnant. It's just like they show up, they're like,
Exactly.
here, take this. So we've got to go to break because Selena's whispering at me behind the camera. But when we come back, we are going to talk about the difference between fostering and adopting.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk about single parents who adopt children, single dads who adopt children. Right after this break, we will be back.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Welcome back to this edition of What Matters, and I am here with Crystal Mark, woman extraordinaire, and we are talking about her latest and greatest endeavor, which is adoption, ABCD equity, for the African-Canadian family. And so this event is going to be taking place on June 20th. And we're going to be screening a movie, a film.
He even has your eyes.
He even has your eyes. We have a panel. We have a workshop. We have food because you can't put people together in a room for a long time. and not feed them.
Absolutely.
They
We've
just
got
get
you a
hungry.
good lunch, and it's going to be culturally appropriate and representative.
I like that very much. And so today we're here talking about something that I think is so important, which is adoption. And especially adoption of Black children and adoption by Black people, which is something that the film really touches on.
Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you to clarify for people is, what is the difference between fostering children and adopting children?
Okay, so it's funny. My husband and I recently went through the process. So we did fostering with a view to adopt. So I'm going to talk to you about the 3. They're actually sort of 3. There's like fostering, adoption, and then the middle. You can try to do sort of a combo thing.
Okay.
It's less common, but fostering is where you provide temporary homes for children. The state will match you. You will take a course. You will learn about maltreatment of children, how to support their needs. You will have a home study to make sure that you're safe people. They will interview your entire family, including your children who are in the home. Make sure that everyone's comfortable with this. They will present you with children that they think are a good match for your family, and that children that have high needs. These children don't come into care without some type type of trauma.
Right.
Remember, they're being ripped from everything that they know, and because someone has said it's not safe. So not only that, they've experienced the trauma that they've experienced in the home, but then also the trauma of
being
leaving,
removed, yes.
right, from home. So we want to create an environment of safety. I also want to let you know that there was a lovely piece in Sesame Street recently. Created a character. Her name is Carly.
Okay.
Carly is in foster care, and Elmo talks with Carly about feeling like she belongs.
I
and
love
basically,
Sesame Street.
it's amazing.
It
We all
is
grew up on it, and
that's
it's
how I
still
learned to
here.
read. That is how I learned to read the Sesame
and so
Street.
Carly learns that I am strong, I am safe, I belong. And basically that to me sums up what a foster family does. Now when I say temporary could be a week. Right?
Oh,
temporary,
really?
it's not likely. But temporary could be a very short time, right? Temporary could be 4 months. Temporary could be 3 years, right?
Oh.
And then at some point, there's got to be a decision made about where this child needs to stay permanently if all the interventions to support the family. So while this time is going on, we're working, or the system is working with the family to support them. Maybe it's a housing issue. Maybe it's a drug issue. Maybe it's a mental health issue. They're getting support so that they can get better. Family reunification is supposed to be the first goal.
No, okay, so when children go into foster care, they're actually supposed to be it's supposed to be temporary. The goal is to bring them back to their families.
To be temporary, so that they can go back to their families. Now, where it might go into adoption is other types of things. There might be tragedy. Maybe the parent has died and there's no other kin or kith to take care of them. Maybe the challenges that mom or dad is facing are too difficult. Maybe mom is the only parent and father has left, or maybe father's the only parent and he can't cope. Either way, there's no family to support. And so now we need to look at adoption because we need to know that the children have a forever home. Okay. So again, going back to that lovely Sesame Street segment, Carly's the little Muppet parents go, we're her for now parents, right? That's another way of saying foster parenting. We're for now, right? And we've got you. We're going to keep you safe. We're going to bring you to school, and you're going to learn what a healthy home feels like, right? And then the people in the middle who do foster with a view to adopt, they're fostering, but if the right child connects and fits with them, and they think that they can provide a permanent home, then they would apply for adoption. It doesn't just automatically happen. There is a process. But fostering with a view to adopt is a newer way of trying to provide permanency.
Right.
And so we're going to be talking about all of that because the panel has such a wide range and diverse range of mothers, and most mothers start off fostering and then moving to adopting. Of course, there are people who come into the system looking straight to adopt, and that does happen. But most times there's something, in the language in some parts of the system has not changed as much. Some has, some hasn't. But there's something called an adoption probation, not the best language, but an adoption probation is the time period where you're fostering and you're seeing if the adoption is going to work, and because it's not about you, it's about the needs of that child. That's most paramount, right? So can we, the evaluation is can we provide that?
Right.
And what, to its credit, the foster care system has really opened up. So queer families, single parent families, grandmas and grandpas, older people can foster. It's not just like this sort of two parents, a picket fence.
A very cookie cutter, a very small amount of people that can do it.
You can foster if you live in an apartment. You don't have to have a rolling estate or a white picket fence. You have to have time. You have to have a good job so that you can provide for these children, and you have to have love and tons of unconditional love and an ability to meet that child where they are. And that's what the system is looking for. And when I gave that some really good thought about how my partner and I could do some revolutionary work while we are here on Earth, what could we do? How can we get something done? We were like, okay, one thing we know is that we've been dedicated parents, and we have been blessed with the children that we have. God has been good to us. And I thought, why not try?
Why not try?
I know all about maltreatment and trauma, but I've risen above that, and now I can support.
You can do something else, and it's in the doing. I mean, that's what matters is about. That's why I'm here. That's what my show is for.
Absolutely.
It's about the doers. It's the community builders. It's about what matters.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for myself, and we're going to touch on this after the break because for some reason, Crystal and I, time goes like this. But for me, I'm a single parent, and you said it earlier. I often feel so scrutinized and so mislabeled.
Absolutely.
I mean, I started saying solo parent because people just had the weirdest idea of what my life was and how my children were, and it's like
your value system.
that and my value system, and it's like really like that's what you get when you hear a woman who is not married that has children. Like that's amazing, and I've thought that myself. I'm so blessed. Trust me, I struggle with my own children, but I have
and that's
the love
not what it's
to
about.
give.
It's not about being a perfect parent. It's about being a parent who cares and who
who
tries.
cares. And so, like you said earlier, and a former guest had said it too, Jeff Martin, even if you can't adopt a child, you can't foster a child, you can't volunteer every week, give something.
Yeah, give what you can.
Something back. From our community, the Black community, you have to step up. We have to step up.
Yeah.
Excuse me. If it's going to a school, volunteering your time saying, I'm an engineer, I'll talk to them about it.
Yeah.
I
That could
work
be
at
one day a year.
Hydro One.
Yeah.
And I want to tell other young men how they can get here too.
Exactly. I work at the airport. I'm a
The
pilot.
pilot.
How did I do it?
I'm a baggage handler.
Yeah, how did I get there?
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Can we step up? Can we participate? Can we give? And so after this break, we are going to speak about, finally, we're going to wrap it up with telling more about the event, making sure everybody knows how to contact you.
Absolutely.
And again, I want to hear at least one of the stories, the amazing stories of these women. And Chantal, I'm still hoping you'll call in. So we'll be right back
Chantal, get
after
on
this
the
break.
phone. Okay. Yes.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
All right.
We know the people. Welcome back to this edition of What Matters. I have no idea how this episode went by so fast.
I know.
I swear I'm going to just have this woman on for a month. And
It would be great.
we could do some stuff.
We'll just camp out here.
That's another idea. So we're back today, and we are talking about adoption and Afro-Canadian families. We have Chantal Amsterdam, the anointed mom, on the phone. Welcome, Chantal.
Hello, Chantal.
Can you hear us? Yes, we can. Yay! Thank you for
Yay.
joining us. So Chantal is going to be on the panel on June 20th at, we lost
The
the flyer.
Dr. Perkins Center, 1430 Main Street East in Hamilton. Chantel is going to be joining us, Heidi, True, and Alice, and they're going to be part of our panel. I should also give great credit to Judith Craig, who won't be part of the panel, but who coordinated us all. She runs the Adopt for Life group that where we sort of all found each other.
Amazing.
But I'm glad to hear you called in, Chantel. You made my day.
Yay. So, Chantal, can you... Yes.
Yeah, because I think it's even more than the movie. This movie is brilliant, and I can't say enough about it. But we're going to be talking about adoption. We're going to be talking about how to adopt. We're going to be talking about when you're trying to serve the system or serve the community, but you have to navigate the system and what that looks like. And I know Chantel knows that more than any of us.
Very much so. And Chantal, can you just briefly, because I know you're always in the middle of 17 things.
Because she's a mom.
Because she's the mom of 3 beautiful, rambunctious boys who are full of energy and life. And it is a wonderful thing to see. And Chantal's a great friend of mine who's helping me in every corner of my life, I have to say. So Chantal, can you just share briefly what it has meant to you and your husband to become the parents of these wonderful boys, and the process, how it's been for you? I know that's like a 3-day long speech, but give it to us in a minute.
Yeah, it is its own world. Yes. True.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Exactly.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay, it's not loud enough. Okay, so our producer is typing in what Chantal's saying so that everybody can see it. And, we will work on a way to make it louder. But Chantal just said something so phenomenal, and that the children are a gift to you. And even that idea in our community that, wow, you're so exceptional and different and amazing because you adopted a child. And, I've even heard things as horrible as, well, that's white people things. Actually, no, it's not.
No, because our children need us, and we need to go back and get our children in our care. It is a village thing.
It is a village thing. It is a very Caribbean, a very African,
it
a
is
very
so very much part of
black thing,
our legacy and our history.
To raise others, to bring up others. I mean, even as a Caribbean, a step parent are so integral to our foundation. That person who raises you up from young, knowing that you're not quote unquote biologically yours, because it's not the title.
How many people do we know who have done that? That's the same thing.
Exactly.
It's not part of the sanctioned state. The only difference is, and Chantal spoke to this, is that she had to fight like the Dickens. Like, she had to go and foster, she had to go through that hurdle. And when she did it, even in 2012, a lot has changed in the system since then. So, but a lot stayed the same because the process is very inertia. It's very slow. But, there is parts where I've seen, and that's not to insult individuals, there are parts where I see dedicated workers making a hard case and saying, we need to get these children in this home now because these are the people who can help them. And I've seen amazing matches being made, right? But, and Chantal, I hope it's okay if I just tell a little bit. With the third, she had, the third came as a surprise, as you mentioned. And she had to go back into the system and say, hey, we've got the siblings here. And siblings belong together. So let's get this one together with us.
That was actually something about her specific story that blew my mind. Again, I mean, systems are systems, institutions are institutions, and they're big by, that's how they're designed.
They're bureaucratic by design.
They're bureaucratic, and their rules, and sometimes they just don't make sense. They don't make sense. And I do get when you're running big institutions, you have to have rules or everything falls apart.
Right.
But the fact that there was any kind of struggle or debate whatsoever,
seems silly, right?
No, it doesn't seem silly. It seems outrageously ludicrous.
And
I have the first two children. You vetted me for those. You said this is okay. You can have these human beings.
That's right.
And then there's another child born that is of their bloodline, of their kin. And this child also needs a home.
That's right.
And so
and they have one.
And they have one because they have the other two children.
Open.
They said, okay, we'll take him. And then she proceeds to fight for years for it to be okay. So I think that this seminar, this workshop, this film, this panel, all coming together on June 20th of this year in Hamilton.
Yes.
And again, the Eventbrite is up on the screen. You can see it. Get your tickets. This is for social workers. If you are a student going into social work, this is important
to you. This is a place for you to be. Get your department to sponsor you.
Get your department to sponsor you. Get the people together. Let's get these things happening because then once this is done and it is as successful as it's going to be, Crystal's going to have one in central Toronto.
I will.
And then she's going to have one
border of Mississauga because I'm going to go where Black people need to go to have this event, right?
Yeah, to have this conversation.
But also I do know that, within the system itself, workers are paid to come to these events. Get your supervisor to approve your request. Take a day trip out to Hamilton. I'll show you where the Tiffany Falls is if you want to get something extra, and come because you will not be disappointed. There is such rich, amazing richness. Again, our people are oral storytellers, right? And we are truth tellers, and we have this opportunity to gather in circle and talk about what matters most. And in this case, we're talking about adoption, and we're talking about children. We're talking about children that if we do the work now, if we go to abcdequity.eventbrite.com, or if you have questions, abcdequity101@gmail.com, ask me a question. If you say, okay, Crystal, I'm having a little bit of problem with the pricing, we'll talk and we will give you, we have prices for families that are different. We have prices for the last foster parent group that went through CAS Hamilton has a different price. We have donations. We want people here as part of the discussion. But we want people who can afford to put their money where their mouth is so that we can do events like this continuously to be there. It's really important because as an independent equity consultant, my work is going from here to there, teaching people about how to level the playing field. And for some, that means taking a giant leap forward. For some, that means taking a respectful leap back. And I also wanted to just shout out an ally and a friend that I can't credit without some of this work because she really brought a lot of it to the table. Mm-hmm. I want to mention my friend Kika Ojo because she just completed the One Vision, One Voice project, which was funded through the Ontario Association of Children's Aid Centers. And she did some amazing work where we got to see firsthand from children in the system telling us how they were affected in foster homes that reflected them and those that did not. And then she further went and had an event called All In, and where us workers got to talk about the struggles and challenges we have in trying to make a way for parents. So I really feel like we can't have that conversation without talking about those work. People like Kiri Daniel, I'm going to miss someone, David Blatt, Gigi, I forgot your last name, but all of these amazing people who got together at Jean Samuel who are working from in the system to change things. But there's a lot. And as you know, it doesn't, the master's tools won't destroy the master's house. However, you got to have people working on the inside. You got to get people working on the outside. And so I'm working on the outside in the community at the heart. And I'm really trying to make an impact by giving voice to people who I know have struggled, who I know have brought these children home and are now these children are thriving. They have a chance in life. And, you want to see less crime, you want to see better improvements in neighborhoods, well, start here.
Yeah, okay.
Start here.
Well, it's not just less crime, it's the forwarding of our people.
That's right,
it's
exactly.
It's the forwarding
if you
of our
want
people.
if you want to see progress and you want to contribute, there's many ways to do it.
And it starts with the foundation, which is our children. So, of course, we've run out of time, and the family. Mm-hmm. But I do believe you will see Crystal and I again live before the event. We're going to do a little Facebook Live to make sure that you are all there. I thank you, Selena. Thank you for being so amazing and so awesome and patient and letting us run over our time for the whole show, because that's what Crystal and I do. She's going to have to get a clapper or a whistle when Crystal's on, because we're out of control. Crystal?
It's just talky.
Thank you so much for being here again, my love.
Yes. It's always great doing work with you.
And I will be back next Tuesday with more of What Matters. See you here again, same time, same place. So thank you.
Bye-bye.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.